What's up, guys, and welcome to the Hybrid Mongoose podcast. And joining me today is Master Chi 3000.
Well, thank you for having me. Pleasure to be here.
In the Hybrid Mongoose studio. It's actually a pretty good setup, huh?
I love it.
Yeah, I need to. Oh shit! I need to get a new arm or mount for that mic, but it's okay. It still looks good. But yeah, we've been friends for a while now. Actually, it's been.
Well, let's see. Since we were level 29.
Was it 29?
Yeah, that's when I met you. We were both 29.
That's hilarious. Yeah, and little background story of how me and Chi met, which was just out of the blue. I was actually, if you follow the channel for as long as you know from the beginning, I actually I was recording the Pokemon Heaven video and the Amitai Nest video, the very first one, on the same day. So I actually went and recorded the Amitai Nest video. I walked over to the Rensen, recorded that other video, and then as I was on my way out, I was walking back to Milliken, and then Chi's like, I forget what you said.
I said, "Oh, hey, what's going on? I watch your videos all the time."
Yeah,
I did watch your videos a lot.
And that you might have been like the first person that actually noticed me from my YouTube videos.
Well, I was surprised because I was looking for a Dragonair actually in that area. And I was looking down on my phone. I look up and I see you there, and I'm like, I know this guy. Hey, that's the YouTube guy.
And it was funny because, we met, and I actually kind of felt bad the first time I met you because I was so rushed to leave. Because I was tired. I was like, that was after recording 2 videos, and Milliken. That nest, is big. You got to walk a lot. So I was walking all over the place, walking up and down, going to the lighthouse, walking back. So by the time I got done with Rensen recording the second video, I was tired. I was like,
it was actually later in the day because I was actually about to leave. I think it was like 4:30 or so. Because I was there. I was at Rensen maybe for 4 hours, 3 or 4 hours.
Gotcha. Yeah. So that was. That was a really good. We met that one time, and then I didn't think really much of it. I was just like, oh, he was cool, and then as time went on, we kept bumping into each other at Rensen, which, it wasn't like weird or anything. You just so happened to be there, and I would show up and whatever. And over time, I think it was like the 3rd or 4th time we actually bumped into each other. I was like, hey, let me get your number. We can, hang out and play together and stuff. And
for a little while, I thought you were stalking me, so...
Yeah,
I'm
right.
just kidding.
No, it was just one of those weird things where we just kept bumping into each other at Rensen. And pause real quick. There's a Swablu here. 1 second. Not a shiny.
It is very strong though.
Oh wow, it's huge. It's a 601.
It's really strong.
601. So yeah, that's how me and Chi became friends. He started watching the YouTube channel, kind of noticed me, and then we kept bumping into each other. And I think probably 4th time or so, we started hanging out, and the more friends you can make in Pokemon Go, the better.
Well, you know as well as I do that we've met a lot of new friends and new people that through this game.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. Yeah, no, I met a lot of people that are good friends now after just only solely met them through Pokemon Go. That's it. So it's kind of funny because a lot of people that I talk to. Either they started out with friends initially, like they started out with a group of friends and then those group of friends stopped playing,
right?
Or it's like they always been a solo player and they're fine with that. But like I always wanted to play with more people, so
it's definitely more fun with more people.
Yeah, so when I actually found a group of friends to actually play with, that made it a lot better. Because I remember the beginning of this game, I was like trying to get my brother to play, trying to get other people to play, and they're like, that's stupid, whatever.
Right. There is an addictive quality to this game.
So next question is pineapple on pizza.
Yeah, pineapple on pizza is great.
What? No.
But pineapple and bacon.
Pineapple and bacon?
Yeah.
I never thought of that.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, it's not something that I would order.
Right.
Usually. But if there was a pineapple pizza around, I would eat it.
Yeah, no, I not me. I'm not a fan.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I don't.
You don't like the little sweetness with the tartness of the tomato sauce?
It just doesn't. Here's the weird thing. I like pineapple by itself.
Okay.
Like completely by itself, I'll eat it. Even in like pineapple upside down cake is one of my favorite like cakes if made correctly. I love it.
Right.
I just don't like it with the savory taste of the tomato sauce and the sweetness. It throws me off.
Well, it is kind of weird. I mean, who puts fruit on pizza? I mean, like, are you gonna put like little tangerine slices on it next? I mean, seriously.
But
it doesn't bother me for sure.
I just hate it. It's not that bad, but if you try to wait, what are you?
There's a Swablu right here. Battles with the best of them.
Is there? Okay, I'm gonna catch that. Yeah, I got 2 spawn points at my house, so there's
attack, defense, best I've ever seen.
Wow.
This might
attack and defense. It might be 98.
Well, I'm gonna
you should do
IV check real quick.
I'm gonna try to catch it right now. But no, pineapple on pizza. It's a down vote for me. She likes it though.
I mean, I'll eat it if it's around and someone paid for it. I mean, I'll eat it.
Yeah,
I don't wanna waste people's money.
I see the problem. It's the same problem I have with. See, I don't like olives, which is fine.
96.
Oh, it's a 96. 96. Is that the 511 CP?
Yeah, 511.
Okay,
correct.
so that is. Wow, that's really good. I'm gonna mark that right now.
That's one to evolve.
So I know this is just audio right now. I eventually want to have cameras in here to actually like kind of record the session. I think that would be really cool.
That would
because
be neat.
then I would be able to record not only audio but visual for when I have guests here or whatever, and that would be cool. So, but yeah, this goes back to I always want to play with other people, and things like that. But I unless I've met you a couple times. I'm just going to say this. Unless I met you a couple times or I'm having a organized, like meetup, I'm not going to really meet up with people I haven't met before. And that's just for my own safety and just, well, I got to get a vibe. I got to get a, how you are in real life first before I'm going to be like, yeah, let's be friends, So I understand people want to hang out and do whatever. But, wait for, keep following the channel, wait for the meetup, message. Cause I'm planning on doing a meetup in the spring. Again, because that first meetup was awesome.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. That
was a really good day, but it's got to be nicer out because I want to go to Rensen and I want to be able to walk around and although the weather's starting to it seems like it's kind of turning, but like next week it could snow, so it's too hard to say. So next question is, before Pokemon Go, were you into the mainstream games at all?
Not really. No, I never even watched the cartoons until I started playing the game.
Okay.
And I went back and started watching some of the cartoons. So,
wait, how did you get into Pokemon Go then?
Just from the hype. It was
really
huge hype. So I said I'm going to check it out, and I thought it was a cool premise that you can go to different spots and there's different types of Pokemon to catch and things like that. And once you start getting into it, it definitely got me hooked. So.
Yeah, no, it's a really good game. I don't think there's anything else like it. Like there really isn't anything else that involves you going to new places and exploring like that. There's no game that's like that, and at least a good game. Let's just put it that way.
Right.
I'm not talking about Draconius Go or anything.
Well, I mean, I never tried Ingress or any of that either. So
that's true.
But yeah. I've been into video games as long as I can remember. So
right. Yeah. So I really like, and I also really like the fact that. They could have done that. Pokemon Go could have went like this. Hey, this is Apple only, and they've done that with games before. And I would never even play this game. Right. That actually happened because I'm an Android person. If you're an Apple person, that's great, that's fine. But me and she are both actually Android people, so there was a chance that we wouldn't even play this game.
Right.
Like, period. So that's
it's like the AR Plus thing right now. I mean, we have Google, so we don't have an opportunity to even check it out.
Right. Yeah, we don't even have a chance, and that's okay. I'm not really jealous of the AR Plus thing. Yeah, it's cool, but we'll get our own thing soon. Like that's the way I think about it. Right now, the game is in a weird spot because it seems like the lack of events is now we're getting like almost too much. Like it's like every second you blink and there's like lunar event. Gen 3 spawn event, then you blink and it's like 4-hour lures, and like it's good and it's bad at the same time. For someone who, like, I know you work and I work, but having the kid now, it's way harder to have the time. So for me, I blink and it's like, what event is happening right now? Like I do have to say though, the news section on the Pokemon Go thing is amazing. It's really good.
1,000 times better.
Have you seen it?
Yes,
Yeah.
I have.
Yeah, so it's really good.
It's like a newsfeed thing now.
Yep.
Very cool.
Yep. So did you actually get a shiny Poochyena?
I did not get a shiny Poochyena,
Oh,
but I
okay.
got 2 shiny Lovedus.
Yeah. Oh, two shiny love disc. Okay, so that extra Lunar New Year event I think is over right now, isn't it?
No, I think it lasts till tomorrow.
Oh no, it lasts till
Till the end,
no, it
couple
lasts
hours?
till 3 o'clock today Eastern Standard Time.
3 or 4 o'clock.
Yeah,
Is it
so
1
it's 1
o'clock?
p.m.
Yeah, it's 4
Pacific
o'clock.
Standard. So it's it's
4
it's
o'clock.
4 o'clock. So we have till 4 o'clock today to snag one of those. That's the end of that.
Well, we can always snag shiny Poochyena.
Yes, but with
Right.
with an
Increased
extra
spawns.
spawns, yes, yeah. I did get 100% Poochyena,
Oh,
which is
nice.
good. So, but and then of course they have the Team Rocket avatar stuff, which they took long enough to bring. That's kind of like I don't know. Kind of feel like see that as a cash grab. Like, ooh, use your coins on this.
Well, the thing
Yeah.
that I'm not too happy with is that they unlock the avatar items when you get a certain medal.
Yeah,
But then after you gain the medal, it's not really a reward. You still have to buy it.
I agree. Yes,
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, yeah.
Like, good job. You walked, 20,000 kilometers. We were going to unlock like a shirt for you that costs 500 coins.
yes, no, I agree with you there. It would be a lot better if you just got it.
As a
I'm
reward.
only missing one. I'm only missing one thing actually. I think I'm only missing the fisherman one. I still.
Yes, me too. The
I
fisherman one
need the
is what-
big Magikarp
Exactly.
one.
I
and-
need about 45 more, I believe.
Oh, you're way better than me. I'm at 183 out of 300.
How'd that happen? I thought you hit a lot of Magikarp nests.
I did, but the problem is just unlucky with the
Right.
spawns. I didn't get the. You have to have size big.
Right.
So
That's true.
It can be all it could be just luck.
And I go to Rensen more than you too, so
That's true. Yeah. Well, you're a lot closer. If I lived where you lived, I would
Right.
definitely be there all the time.
yeah, it's only 20 minutes.
Yeah, 20 minutes is not that bad. It takes probably about 30, 35, maybe sometimes even 40 with traffic.
Right.
For me. Well, I live in an area, it's not really close to any one
Expressway.
expressway. Yeah. It's like at least a 10-minute drive to any expressway.
Sure.
So, which kind of sucks, but it's also good at the same time. But yeah, no, it's cool. I like the way the game is going. It's just a lot of events happening, a lot of things happening. I'm actually excited for the community day. That's going to be really good.
Shiny Dratini?
Do you think there's going to be that?
Maybe.
Yeah, well, yeah, let's do it.
Shiny Dratini is pink, I
Pink?
believe. And then Shiny Dragonite
Okay.
is green.
Is it really?
I believe it's green with like
Let's look
purple
it up. I'm
wings.
curious now. I want to see what that is. Like to see.
I don't see why not. They've been dropping shinies like crazy.
Shiny Dratini is well, it looks like pink. Yep, and then you're right, it's blue or green. So that's cool. Yeah. Yeah, the shinies are cool. I only have 3, and I went for the longest time without having any though.
Right.
Like I didn't have any until the Halloween Gen 3 event with Duskull and all them.
You know what? I'm actually personally more impressed by people that have shinies because I find like that's more luck as
Yes.
opposed to like, no offense to anybody, but like if you have like 400% Tyrannitars, because obviously you use the scanner if you got 400%, which I have nothing against. Everybody's allowed to play the way that they want to play, and as
Right.
long as you're getting enjoyment from the game
Right.
and you're not affecting me,
Yeah.
then I have no problem with how you play, And I'm not going to be on a high horse that said I never used the scanner before, but
Yeah.
I have occasionally when you're with a group of people. They're like, "Oh, here, there's a certain thing here," and you're like, "I don't want to be left out. I want to join in too,"
Yeah, and I'm guilty of it too. I mean, there's just other Discords out there, and if I'm going to get groceries,
And there's
sometimes
one nearby, right?
if there's one nearby, I will get it. It's not like I'm not going to snag that. And it seems like a lot of the higher elite people, it seems to be more accepted now. Some people go, "Oh, scanners, I can't believe that," but now there's like full services that have notifications and all this other stuff of like just searching for the higher IV stuff, and that's fine. But I've said it before, it's not typically the way I like to play.
I just find it more fun when it's spontaneous and
Yes.
you
Yeah.
found something and you're excited that you found that, and you can share with your friends. Oh, there's 100% so and so here. There's a high IV
Yes. Yep.
saw Pokemon over here, and running around looking for those things. I find is a lot of lot of the fun of the game, you know?
Yes, and some of the most fun I've had is some of our adventures where we just like randomly go out
Right. To
into
a city.
Detroit or whatever. And I'm planning on hitting a city this summer / springtime that I haven't hit yet, and that is Ann Arbor.
Yes.
I have not hit Ann Arbor yet, and I am gonna do it the exploring way. I'm not gonna drive around. We're gonna go there. And we're going to walk that. We're going to hit the parks. We're going to walk that thing. And we're going to just record our adventure that way. And that not only makes a better video, it makes a better adventure, longer lasting memories. It's just when you're in a car and you go, hey, remember when we grinded at Ann Arbor and drove around for 14 hours
Right.
to every 96% IV plus each one, just kept. No, that's not how I typically like to play. But if the weather is involved, and I understand people don't like to, there's some people that just don't walk at all playing this game. And I've met a lot of people like that. They like to raid, they like to drive around. That's all they do. They don't really do much other than that. But that's not the way I like to play. I like to walk around. I like to explore. I like to be on foot. I like to, kind of see what happens. And that's cool. So I look forward to that because I think I can really capture Ann Arbor good, being on foot, recording the sites, trying the food there. I heard the food scene is really good there, and just really capturing the area, as opposed to sitting in a car saying, "Hey, we're in Ann Arbor and I caught this."
Well, like look at it this way. How many parks have we gone to that we never would have went to? And discovered how beautiful those parks are, and
yes,
how a nice place is, a nice gathering place for the community in that area. I mean, we would have missed out on a lot of that stuff. You go on Silph Road, find out where the nests are, hit up some of the nests, and sometimes you gotta enjoy the experience of being in the park as well as catching the Pokemon.
Speaking of nests, now that makes me curious of what's even around. I have not looked at this in forever. Now I'm like, what's on the Silph Road for nests?
I haven't checked myself. You are really close to Dodge Park.
Yes, I'm super close, but the problem is like it's blocked off right now for
Right.
It's completely blocked off for they are remodeling it into like a water park. They've already on the City Hall side, they've already remodeled it to be a
skate park.
So yeah, oh man, the Silph Road's like empty right now.
I feel
a lot of people aren't inputting the data.
You think people are raiding though right now because they're not really going to nests. They're snowy out. It just snowed like 2 feet of snow.
Yeah, no, that's probably it. And funny enough, I still don't even have a Rayquaza.
Well, we're gonna go get one later.
I still don't even have one.
It's not hard. Like I said, I was 8 for 8 yesterday. With the 98% was last one.
I know how to throw at it. I actually was throwing good. It just happened to run. So.
It is such a cool looking Pokemon, though.
It is.
You've already rated for one?
One. I've only done
it ran?
one. Yeah, it ran. Yeah, I've only done one. Well, the problem is I can't do it during the week because I get out too late.
Right.
So if I get out too late, it's impossible for me to actually, have the time.
Well, the raids are over by the time you get home.
Practically, yeah. I can maybe do one if I skip dinner, delay dinner, and like literally just go after one. I can do one,
right?
And then it's over.
Well, you're a jerk for loving your wife.
Yeah. How dare you go home?
How dare you go home and spend time with your family?
That's the problem too, as well as recording during the week too. It's a lot better when it's summer because it's lighter out,
right? And you got later,
warmer out. It's easier just to go out and do it then.
Oh, the times we play till midnight,
Yeah, I remember when it used to not get dark till like almost 10.
Well, the thing is when it's like 60, 70 degrees out in the summer, it's nice. You can stay out pretty late.
Yep, that's really good. Yeah. So let's switch gears a little bit, and I want to talk about what's your favorite, and I'm going to guess your favorite franchise besides Pokemon is definitely Star Wars.
Definitely
Star Wars.
Definitely Star Wars.
So what did you think of the new movie?
I thought it was good. I thought it was entertaining. I feel the haters on the movie are just looking too deep into it. It's just entertainment,
right?
I mean, I would have loved to see Luke tear apart a bunch of
spoiler alert.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, hey, if you haven't seen it yet, stop go see it. Like, cause it's still worth seeing.
Oh, I think it was worth seeing.
It's still
for
worth
sure.
seeing. I mean, me personally, I rate it like a 6 out of 10, which that's still pretty good. It's still okay, you
I
know.
mean, it was visually stunning. You have
Oh,
to admit that one fight within the Snoke's throne room was
it was
just
really
incredible.
cool. That was one of the coolest parts.
Incredible.
Yeah, but the problem is like I hate how they switch directors, and I don't think this one was written as well as even the the Force
Sure.
Awakens or whatever.
Sure.
It could have been written a lot better, and there were story plot holes and things like that that just kind of didn't go anywhere.
The one scene that threw me off, like just got me out of the flow of the movie, was the Leia scene.
Yeah.
Leia
Oh my
in space
god.
scene.
Leia Poppins.
Yes, that was a little distracting, and I tried to accept it and say, okay.
Okay. Well, my thing is, I mean, we know that she is passed away in real life, right?
Perfect opportunity.
So it was the perfect opportunity to let her pass away in the actual movie.
Sure.
And it also was right before a scene with Kylo Ren where he was struggling with his
right.
inner demons or whatever, and he was like, he saw where his mom was, he knew where his mom was on the ship, and he hesitated to shoot, and then the other people shot.
Right.
That was a good scene. I felt like, man, he's really struggling with the
Exactly.
good and dark, followed up by Mary Poppins flying through the sky. And like, who wrote that? Like, just let her die, because what ended up happening was her living served no purpose at the end.
Right. It didn't.
She was like, "Oh, I'm awake from the coma. Here's I met Luke's, force projection," and then cue to next scene.
Right.
Right.
There was no point in bringing her back.
Yeah,
at that
the
point.
way that it was written, it was just kind of stupid. They acted like in the Force Awakens, like, hey, we have this huge force we actually won. To we have like these like 10 ships, and that's it. Right. It was kind of like, what? The opening scene took me out of it too, though, with Poe, where he was just like prank calling.
Right.
I was like, this is not Avengers. Like,
Right.
like, what are you like?
To
To me, it took me out of it. I was like, who wrote this?
Do you feel like they're trying to go as different from the prequels as possible? So they're like kind of,
Yeah, maybe
throwing the humor in there.
My issue is the original trilogy, which was great, and which brought everyone to the actual franchise, right? What do they proceed to do is go ahead and kill every beloved character that could actually, even if they don't have a major role, they could have a minor role,
Right.
and still survive.
Right.
Killing off Luke, Han, Leia. I mean, except for Leia, that's the only one I agree. She should have been passed away already because she died in real
Hey,
life.
we still got Lando.
And still got Lando. The problem is that would have brought us back and made us go, oh, that's kind of nostalgic. I like seeing Han there.
Right.
I like seeing Luke there. Maybe they just go back to him for guidance or something, and then just.
But don't you feel as a Star Wars fan, that's what drew you into the sequels? Is we get to see Luke again. We get to see Han again.
Yes, that was the most exciting part about the end of The Force Awakens, was that Luke was there.
Right.
And if he was going to die anyway,
Right.
he should have been there in person and kicked some butt there.
Right.
Because, like, how much cooler would it have been if he just was there and was just like chopping the legs off of the the walkers
right.
and just wrecking house.
Right.
And we're seeing him use all this crazy force, and then he makes Kylo Ren run away, and then he dies because he like overdid it.
Right.
That would even be cooler,
Definitely.
instead of him just like dancing with him and then just going like, you can't hit me. And it just
I think most fans wanted to see the extent of the Force.
yes.
And how powerful the Force could be.
Yeah.
Because Luke is universally believed to be the most powerful Jedi.
Yeah.
That's ever existed. So I mean, just an example of a little bit of his power would be nice. And speaking of that, the Yoda thing was kind of threw me off too.
Yeah, the puppet.
Well, the Yoda was fine. It's the magic powers that kind of threw me off on that too. So.
Right. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people love the Yoda scene. I thought it was okay. Didn't really bother me.
Right.
Kind of cringed for a second when I realized it was the puppet. I was like, why don't we just CGI that thing? You CGI'd it in the prequels. Why are you CGI? So, yeah. It seems like they're just introducing things just to introduce them in this one more than ever. Things change. There's another thing that I didn't like was Admiral Akbar dying off camera.
You're right.
So a lot of people raged over that, but that's actually a legitimate concern because, like I said, it's like they're taking everybody from the prequels or like the original one, and they're just throwing them away.
I just believe they're trying to start a new chapter, with
no,
new characters.
and it's good, but they should have let Admiral Akbar die instead of that purple hair lady.
Right.
Whatever her name was.
That would have been
See?
That would have been more emotionally,
Yes, you would have been connected to that. You'd be like,
definitely.
oh, it's the trap guy.
Right. Stop, it's a trap.
He's gonna die. He's gonna, like jump, and
For sure.
and kill that.
That would
and
be
the reason
cool.
why I want to talk about this because I know you're Star Wars fan, so
Yes,
I'm like,
for sure.
I really wanted to talk about
That
this
would be
'cause-
really cool.
Yeah, so that's just some little things that I seen that just could have fixed it. I don't like the way they portrayed Luke.
Sure.
They portrayed Luke as like this. It's fine to be peaceful and everything like that, but they portrayed him as weak because Rey like stepped over him and like knocked him over and stuff. And he's like, I don't want to fight. And it's just
Right.
like they just made him look super weak.
Well, do you think they mirrored the Empire Strikes Back with Yoda? Because Yoda wasn't really like, he was just kind of a weird hermit in the swamp.
True, but he still was like thumping Luke with his stick and hitting him and stuff. And
Sure.
you know what I mean? Like he was, even though he was like this little hermit dude, he still was like assertive.
Sure.
He was still like,
Right.
wrong, and like hit the guy.
Uh-huh.
Like that still was showing like this is a teacher, student type of thing going
Right.
on. You got none of that from Luke, and I still think like when the Force Awakens ended, I was like, I wonder if Rey is Luke's daughter.
Sure. Everybody thought that,
and it would have been a lot better if she was, and I'll tell you why. Because that when he died, it would have been more of a connection. There would have been more of an emotional scene.
True.
With Rey instead of Rey just going like, oh, he's gone. I felt his Force leave.
But who knows? Maybe J.J. Abrams is going to,
he's got a lot of writing to do to fix it.
he might switch it back around and say, oh yeah, she is the illegitimate child of Luke.
I feel like the second one, and it had a lot to live up to. It just when they read over that, they should have just been like, nah,
Right.
like because there was a lot of stuff. Who was the shiny stormtrooper?
Phasma.
Phasma.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're right.
So
Just cool looking.
they're just trying to make it like a Boba Fett type of
Right.
character.
Right.
The problem is the Boba Fett was more ingrained into the story.
Well, the thing is, Gwendolyn Christie is a great actress, or actor. And I don't understand why they don't take advantage of her,
Yeah, I had no problem with the actor or how they did it. They just threw it in one scene out of
Right.
nowhere. Person barely showed up, and all of a sudden he's like, "Here, you're fighting. What's
Sure.
his face? The guy that I forget his name.
Finn.
Finn. Okay, so yeah, he's fighting Finn
Right.
just out of nowhere. He maybe one scene before she was there.
Right.
It's like, okay, oh, all right.
Well, I mean, they didn't even take advantage of her notoriety. I mean, she had the helmet on the whole time, so you could have had anybody play that part,
That's so true. Yeah. That's so. I'm a big Star Wars fan. I've been since the beginning.
Sure.
So
I'm excited about what's coming in the future and all the
I'll
announcements are
I'll
coming.
still watch it. It's funny because like even the people that hated the last one. There's like I don't know if you knew this. There's a petition out there to redo it.
Oh, well, they can't redo it.
Yeah, I know,
What,
but
are they
it's
gonna
so
erase it
funny.
from history?
There's like 100,000 signatures on this petition to like do it over, like redo.
So are these people going to donate their money to get this movie redone?
No, I don't think so. I think they're so angry and butthurt over Luke dying,
Right.
that they like literally want to just like redo it, and it's like that's impossible. You can't just redo a whole movie. You
Just
know,
forget about what happened. We're just gonna redo the whole thing.
You know who was
I don't
actually
agree
really
with that.
strong? It was surprisingly strong, and I'm okay with was the BB-8.
Yeah, BB-8.
BB-8 had some really cool scenes in that movie.
I feel like the droids have always been used as a comedic foil in all the
Yes,
movies,
yeah.
So Yeah, BB-8 has a lot of personality.
Yeah. No. There's a part where he was on one of those chicken walkers and he took over it and he just started wrecking house. And I was just like, you really just need 10 BB-8s and you could win. Like, yeah.
Yeah, if you had 10 BB-8s, an army of BB-8s.
I think BB-8 did more damage than anybody.
Sure.
Yeah.
funny.
No, there was just plot holes like when Finn and Rose went to the casino island or casino place.
Right.
They were looking for that one guy with the rose, right?
Right.
But
But they ended up with Benicio del Toro.
The problem with that is, oh, we just got this master hacker.
Right.
We just so happened to be in the same cell with him.
Right.
That's sloppy writing. That's very coincidental.
I thought that maybe he was secretly the hacker, and they could have like put it around where that guy won his jacket or won his pin in a bet or something, and then
yeah.
he was meant to be but he's just some random guy. Oh, I can do it too.
Yes, yeah, that bothered me. And then it just that whole plot scene where they get on the shuttle ship, go to the casino island, see those horse thingies, escape out of their jail, all that stuff was for literally nothing. When I saw that it ended with, oh look, this guy's here, and he gave him up, I was just like,
well, I think it was to introduce that kid.
yeah,
kind of showing like the future. There's going to be a
he had
Jedi
a
Order
force,
again,
yep.
kind of deal.
yeah. So what did you think? And I'm going to ask this question because I'm curious. What did you think of Rogue One?
Rogue One, I thought Rogue One was okay. I just thought it was a little slow moving through the movie.
Yeah.
But the final third of the movie made up for the entire thing.
Yeah.
Because the last third of the movie, I was on the edge of my seat. It was extremely exciting.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I actually think Rogue One is one of the best Star Wars films right now.
Sure.
And it's funny because people that critiqued Rogue One now watch The Last Jedi and go, oh man, Rogue One was really good. Because I've had some friends that were like, oh, I didn't really like Rogue One. Ugh. And then they saw The Last Jedi and they're like, Rogue One's pretty good.
Yeah, Rogue One was all right.
Rogue One's good now because that one really sucked.
Rogue One was a 5 for me before. Now it's an 8 after watching Last Jedi.
I love the Rogue One. It was slow starting to introduce the characters and all that stuff, but it really gave purpose to what this was. And I like the fact that everyone died at the end. It was more meaningful.
Well, yeah, you don't see them again. I mean,
yeah,
it's
it was
a great explainer.
Yeah, and there was no open-ended stories. The beginning of it may be too much explaining. The only thing is the guy blowing up the whole planet and all that. Like, that was a cool scene.
Right.
But, it's just, I don't know. There's some characters just kind of like, what are they here for?
I mean, we've been kind of negative about Last Jedi. Don't get me wrong. I just watched it.
Oh, yeah.
I've watched it 3 times.
I like.
I enjoyed
like
it.
I would still watch it again. One reviewer said it. I forget where I read it because I was reading a lot of reviews after I watched it because I was just curious. They said, Star Wars movies are like pizza. Even bad pizza is still pretty good.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, who doesn't like X-wing fighters flying through space shooting at TIE fighters? I mean,
to me, it was like, what the heck is that? Oh, that's awesome.
Right.
Oh, that's stupid. Whoa, that's amazing. So it's like, to me, I was like for every one cool scene, there was a bad scene, and it just kept going back and forth.
Well, I feel like most of the audience for Star Wars nowadays is not the millennials. It's the group of people that are 40, 30 something, that grew up with it, that used to have the Hasbro toys and played with them and flew your X-wing fighter through the air and everything like that, creating your own adventures. It's kind of like a nostalgic thing, I feel.
Right. Yeah, no, it's I mean, it's still good. I'm glad they're making them. I just hope they don't overdo it.
Right.
Because the Han movie does not look good to me.
We'll have to see. The actor doesn't really look like Han, considering it's going to be like 3 or 4 years before New Hope, unless he went and got plastic surgery. I mean,
yeah, it just doesn't.
We'll see if his mannerisms are similar to Han. Like if you feel like it's Han Solo.
It's it's got a lot to lose.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's because the last Jedi wasn't overwhelmingly received good. So if this one flops, it could really hurt the next one.
Well, Ron Howard was brought aboard to reshoot the entire movie, so,
That's a bad sign.
I mean,
though.
that's a bad sign.
Yeah,
but, I mean,
they're like,
who
we
doesn't
watched
wanna,
it. It was terrible. Redo it.
Who doesn't want to see Forrest Gump in space? I mean, come on.
Forrest Gump is oh my god. So, the problem is they have such an iconic character, like Harrison Ford as Han Solo. For me, it's very hard to go, like, my brain to go, oh, that's Han Solo.
Right.
You know
What's exciting though is if they do the Obi-Wan movie with Ewan McGregor.
Yes, I'd be okay with that for sure.
That would be very, very cool to see his time in Tatooine.
Yeah. No, I'm fine with that. And I also thought of another thing, like, why are they messing with Han when they could have went like, what's the origin of Darth Maul? Let's see his story.
Sure.
And it would be a Sith movie.
Right.
How cool would that be to see that perspective?
Right.
Other than, because you always see it from the good, bad, whatever.
Right.
You'd be seeing it just from the bad side.
Sure.
Maybe he had a bad upbringing that forced him to be this way. You know what I mean? Like,
well, every villain is a hero in their own story.
yeah. So no, I just think that, like, instead of wasting time with a Han movie, they could have easily done a Darth Maul movie, something
Sure.
that people would really want to see. And I don't.
Or even how about a Palpatine movie?
Yeah.
How about show us, how Palpatine became a Sith,
Yeah.
That would have been interesting, right?
Yeah.
And how he became the most powerful Sith that ever lived.
Yeah. How he became the Emperor or whatever.
Sure.
So,
Well, we know how he became the Emperor
Yeah.
through the prequels, but like how he got his powers, how he got his influence, his
Right.
political influence
Yep.
and things like that, about how he killed his family and things like, it would have been pretty cool movie.
the problem is the Han movie is something that nobody really requested or asked for.
Right.
That's the way I feel. I feel like they're like, this will make money. Let's make this. And that the problem with that is they're putting out stuff that people don't care about.
Right.
Now, like, so let's switch gears one more time because
Sure.
I the reason why I like, you're a good person to talk to about this stuff because
No,
you're knowledgeable.
I'm into it.
So it's good. Now superhero movies.
I watch every single Marvel movie.
Yes.
Usually on the day that it comes out. Unfortunately for Black Panther, I've been busy. I haven't been able to watch it yet.
I really want to see it too.
I heard it was incredible.
Yeah, I keep hearing good things, and it's actually funny because I think the second Avengers movie,
Age of Ultron.
Age of Ultron, was just okay, and I was kind of like, maybe they're kind of.
I actually watched it on cable the other day, and it wasn't bad. I
It's
enjoyed
okay.
it. I watched it all the way through again.
I'm like, I think they're winding down on how good their movies are, and then I watched Thor Ragnarok, and I changed my mind
Right.
because I loved that movie.
I thought it was very entertaining.
I loved it. Some of the humor was a little forced,
I felt like
but there was a scene where, spoiler alert again,
right.
There's a scene where what's his face? Thor's brother. Loki. So Loki sees Hulk smash him like he did in the first Avengers.
Right.
And he's like, that's how it feels or whatever. And I was like, that's stupid. Like that was a reach for me.
Right.
Because I was just like, okay, that's dumb. But besides that, there was the fight scene between Hulk and Thor was amazing.
I thought that was great.
It was so good. It was so good.
But like I said, I prefer the opening scene where Thor's beating up all the skeleton warriors.
That was cool
I thought
too.
that was
That
really
was cool
great way
too.
to start the movie.
I just did see Justice League recently.
It was okay. I mean,
Eh,
I guess it wouldn't be okay. I guess I'm not going to watch it again, so
it's a very meh movie to me.
yeah.
I hate to say it, but Ben Affleck portrayed Batman better in that movie than he did Batman Superman for me.
I feel like the studio kind of hindered that movie by saying that it had to be 2 hours long. Don't you feel for a Justice League movie, for it to get the what it's due, it needs to be 2.5, 3 hours. I mean,
Yeah.
just develop all the characters and things like that. I just felt it was very rushed. They cut out a lot.
DC really shoots themselves in the foot when they could do an origin movie.
Well, it's a money grab. I mean, they're trying to get as many viewings on every screen as possible by making it 2 hours. But then you're cutting your own throat because no one's going to go see it because it's not good,
They should be kind of copying the Marvel plan more. Like, if you're going to introduce Flash, make a Flash movie.
Right.
And
then put them together.
Don't just throw him in. Like, okay, the reason why Avengers was so good, the first one, because everyone wanted to see it, and it was really big hype, is because they made the Iron Man movies, Captain America, Thor. They built it up. This was a plan. It wasn't just, throw everybody together, because Avengers wouldn't even be close to as good is if the Iron Man movies weren't out.
Sure.
If Captain America wasn't out, the Thor movies, we would go, who are these people?
Well, the thing is, when you watch their individual movies, you grow attached to these people,
Yes.
you know, because they develop the characters. It's almost like a episodic kind of like soap opera, you know. It's like, you know, episode 1 was Iron Man, you know, episode 2 was Captain America, or so and so, whatever order it came out. They've just pieced it together very nicely. Even in Avengers, you know, when they finally all came together, you're like, cool, we saw them all individually. Now we can see them together.
Yeah,
you
and
know?
that was the whole hype train about it. I think Justice League, even though it had good fights-ish, it just, the whole storyline seemed very Avengers-ish with the aliens coming and everything and like that, and then everyone having to band together. It just, the story just seemed kind of meh to me.
What did you think about Batman vs Superman?
I see Batman's my favorite DC character of all time.
Favorite Batman?
So actually, yeah, so far, unfortunately, I had to say that.
Ben Affleck?
I didn't like Christian Bale as Batman.
No.
You know, I'm Batman. You know, I didn't like it. I'd rather have the robotic voice of him being.
Sure.
I think it sounds cool, but
like voice modulation kind of deal.
Yeah, that's okay. But the whole I'm gonna. Yeah, I have besides Joker, which was one of the best scenes in acting ever of Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger, right.
Being Joker was
Legend.
amazing. I just don't. I don't like the trilogy. I just don't, and that's just me. You know, a lot of people go, "Oh, it's a realistic approach. It's a realistic approach." You know, and the problem with that is my main issue with DC is they have these old school directors, and you can tell these old school writers, and it felt like a really long episode of Law and Order. That just so happened to have Batman in it.
Sure, okay.
Because it's very dramatic. Everything was very dramatic and slow paced for a lot of it for me. I feel like you could take almost each one of those trilogy movies and cut almost 45 minutes to an hour out of them, and it would still have the same effect.
Out of the trilogy, I liked the second one the best, of course. The first one, you know, kind of like a Batman Year One type deal. I felt like it was very slow moving as well. You know, it was hard to keep your attention going, especially when he's getting his training or what have you in the mountains. I found it a little slow. And then for the last one, I just feel like they ruined Bane. I mean,
yes, I didn't like Bane. And here's the thing. There are good things about the movies.
Sure,
in my mind, you got to understand, Batman is on this gigantic high horse, and it's very hard to live up to that in my brain, because I read the comics. I'm a big fan of the animated series. I know how Batman's supposed to be. He's supposed to incite fear. He's supposed to be a ninja. Yet most of the time, because he got ninja training, right?
Yeah, I believe
but
so,
in most movies, he's just jumping into the middle of them. People in the comic books would be scared of him because he would just, like, all of a sudden you hear something, then one of their friends would just disappear.
Right.
And it's like, that stuff doesn't happen in the actual, you know, in the movies. They don't portray him correctly. That's my issue.
Right.
Like,
he should be more of a boogeyman kind of character.
Exactly. He should be like in the shadows. And yeah, there's times where he should fight. But it goes back to the old school kind of like direction and the old school type of filming. Like Bane should have been like the Hulk, as big as the Hulk,
right?
Smashing things and everything,
right?
You know,
well, he's supposed to be super intelligent too, and I felt like them making him a lackey of Talia al Ghul was kind of demeaning to the Bane character, you know?
Yeah, and I didn't like the voice, like
the British voice.
Like, listen, brothers. Like I just.
Do you feel like you're in control?
I honestly did not like how he was portrayed. Also, Matt Hardy is like 5'7", and they're supposed to pick a guy who's like huge. So the camera angles are all like turned downward, so you can't tell how tall he is.
They should have got like a wrestler or something.
They should have. They definitely could have gotten somebody way bigger. It's not the fact. It goes back to the realistic thing. Like they tried that with Suicide Squad.
I never watched Suicide Squad.
It's terrible.
Such bad reviews. I didn't even bother watching it.
Well, like for instance, they had the Killer Croc character who was supposed to be where's the CGI when it needs to be there? Because
Right.
Killer Croc is supposed to be gigantic, and like this crazy croc monster hybrid dude that, and anybody who's played like the Arkham games. Have you played the Arkham games?
Absolutely. Some
How
of the
big
best
was the
games
killer?
ever, yeah.
How big was the Killer Croc in that? He was gigantic. Yet they try to take practical effects and make an actor sit down in a makeup trailer for 17 hours a day to put the most cheesy, terrible looking Croc makeup. It's just, I mean, this is not 1994. Like we look at that, it just takes you right out of the film,
Right.
immediately.
Right.
And some of the one-liners were bad. They're trying to introduce too many people.
That's a
The
comic.
Joker was terrible. That was the worst
didn't
Joker.
like Jared Leto?
No, he was the worst ever. That was the worst Joker ever. His laugh was like, ha, ha, ha.
It's more annoying than anything.
Oh my God, it was the worst. Dude, it was the worst. His character was so bad. Oh my God.
Now I'm curious. I want to watch it.
Watch it. I guarantee you'll hate it. Watch it. Oh my God.
Well, I mean,
so,
that's for par for DC movies. I mean, they just throw everybody together and expect you to be emotionally invested in these characters.
Right.
When you know nothing about them. They might as well just be puppets.
yeah, no. They're trying to like catch up to Marvel when the problem is Marvel's laid the groundwork forever.
Right.
Like they put out those X-Men movies. They realized what they did wrong. Started doing, Avengers movies.
Well, that's not true because the
Well,
X-Men movies were from
yes.
Sony. So
The X-Men movies.
the first Marvel movie would have to be, I believe, the Ang Lee Hulk
Oh, right.
with Banna.
I know you're talking about. Yeah.
And Jennifer Connelly in that one.
Yes, they did Hulk a bunch of times.
They did it that time. And
Did they do it before X-Men 1? Now I'm curious. Like the first X-Men movie, I thought was the first. Marvel movie.
you might be right.
Let's look it up.
But
'cause
again,
I'm
like a Sony studio movie.
see, the X-Men, the very first one was 2000.
Okay.
Um,
Look up the Ang Lee
see.
Incredible Hulk. And then in canon of in the Marvel universe, I believe the Edward Norton Hulk
yeah.
is what was supposed to be. Apparently, the first Marvel movie.
Okay, that was
that's
Edward
connected.
Norton, but there's one before that.
Yes, we're looking for Eric Bana,
Let's see.
Ang Lee.
Look up
Jennifer
the
Connelly?
Hulk or just Hulk. Hulk was 2003. So the first,
Okay,
the
X-Men.
very first one was X-Men.
Well, actually, the very first one was Blade, but Blade's not part of the universe.
Right. Yeah, so they did that Hulk, then they did another Hulk. So the fact that they've actually been able to get Hulk to work is pretty amazing.
I mean, Hulk's been cool in all of the movies. I mean, the
Right.
storyline in the first one was just ridiculous.
Right. No, it's still good.
I like the Edward Norton one. I really did. I thought it was a good movie.
Oh yeah, I didn't have a problem with that either.
Yeah, I
didn't
thought it
have
was
a
a good
problem
movie.
with that either. Yeah. So no, this has been a good talk. This has been a good talk. We've like almost approaching an hour, like 13 minutes to.
Well, what people don't know is this is usually our conversation when we're hanging out anyway.
Yeah, I know. We should just record it more often.
Right. We
Yeah,
just walk around and go play Pokemon and just talk and record it.
Yeah, there you go. We'll just do that. But anyway, Chi, thank you for stopping by.
Thanks for having me. It was a great time.
It was fun. It was really fun. I'm sure if you're listening to this right now, I'm sure you're loving it. This is a great conversation. If you haven't already, hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one. Later, guys.